And in Kenya, the most thriving business is politics. You see how they are flashing their watches, their cars. Which business do they run? Which is the name of a company run by Sudi? Which company does Ichungwa run? Which company does Didi Nyoro runs that he has bought Lonro House worth 1.8 billion? Are you getting my point?
I'm getting it.
When will you see 1.8 billion in your account?
I don't remember.
I'm sure you'll die.
A very good afternoon and welcome back to Havana Media. My name is Boniface Owino and as usual I'm going to be your host for today. As I promised that we'll be having Professor, and I'm very lucky. This is the second time that we're having a conversation with the Professor. And I think the last time we had a conversation, we were in his office and a lot of things happened. People responded positively. Some were saying that I should bring him back again. For that, I want to give him a chance so that he can greet us before we jump into our discussion. Professor, karibu tena.
Thank you very much, Boniface, for calling me here in Havana space.
Yes.
I told you that I've gotten so many media stations that try to clip what I say because they think they can be able to control. And I discover that sometimes when I go to the media, there are 3,000-4,000 shilling, 3-4 viewers viewing. But yesterday I hosted a space discussion which had 24,000 participants. So I'm asking myself, why are we wasting time by eclipsing people on the place, yet we have space? So the cyber revolution, the internet revolution has really taken place. In fact, when you see anybody doing anything on the ground, which we call marketplace, the market space has changed. For someone to buy a banana on a marketplace, the banana has been bought already in the market space. Just like when you're going for your wedding, when you're asking this woman, will you marry me on that wedding day, you're not expecting a yes or no. You know definitely this is just a ceremony. So when you see Gen Zs coming to demonstrate on the street, they have already demonstrated enough in this space. So the street is the place, but the market space has been dominated. So anything you buy, even if you're buying, let's say a phone, you're buying a pen, people need to move. And in fact, businesses need to move in space. Politicians need to move in space. If you have no capabilities to stay in space and safe, you are actually equally done in the marketplace.
So, Professor, just on that matter of space and place,
Yes.
we saw the way the Gen Zs were organizing themselves, the way they mobilized themselves, and you can't just tell me that these people woke up in the morning and went to the street and started shouting that the Gen Zs, let us collect ourselves, let us gather so that. And a good example is what happened on Sunday. Yes. I think it was yesterday on Sunday at Uhuru Park. Yes. These guys, I was trying to ask myself, how did it reached this point whereby these guys, thousands and thousands of young men, are coming together to speak one voice? How did it? But we just say that there's a very big difference between a place and a space. Yeah. So before it happens in the place, it must start in the space.
Yeah. So you see, the concert, the Gen Z concert in Uhuru Park, had taken place in the space. So they are just coming so that there are some people who still believe they must be seen in the marketplace, which is Uhuru Park, to demonstrate. But whatever they were doing there, all that script was already done. All the anger, Ruto must go, had already been said until they were tired of hearing it in space. Then said, now let's come to the place. Just like you can have, come we stay, until you say, now I have to come to church and declare my intention before the people of God that this is what is happening. So that was just happening. But let me tell you what, there's something you ask which is very critical. How did they come together and how did they have a lot of agreeableness about what they want to do? Gen Zs, there's something very particular about them. they have the least information asymmetry. You know, if you go to the lost generation, whereby someone who lives in Busia doesn't know what is happening in Nairobi, somebody who lives in the US cannot connect with someone who lives in Siaya, there was a lot of information asymmetry. But you know what? The connectedness and the level of information asymmetry is great. So the mobilization we used to do, for example, when they were doing demonstration, the typical which was done by the likes of Raila Odinga, they were demonstration of people who are not informed. But there we are having people who are not just demonstrating out of anger, but they are angry and they are informed about why they're angry. How should they express their anger? How can they be effective? Like you could see the thing there. The Ruto Must Go was there. You could hear the Giuliani who sang the song.
Niko njaa, that's very karanga. And the Unbogable.
Yeah. I remember the Unbogable by my brother Gidi Majimaji. I taught him in Strathmore Business School. I taught him in Strathmore. He did an MBA in Strathmore.
So he was a student?
Yes, my student, yes. This thing was sung 22 years ago when they were singing against Moi. And they have done it again. But that Unbogable has been done in space. And people had cognizance. Remember, anybody who did anything which had not been approved in space, they were rejected in
place. Yeah.
Yes, so that is how I'm saying the synchronization and the agreement. If you came and claim that you are a leader, they would tell you are not a leader because you have not been approved in space. So a leader must lead from space to the place. So that's why I talk about the issue of platform. These people have apps. Even I'm sure they have hacked the Starlink, which is the one that hosts Twitter Space. And I'm sure that Elon Musk will give them all the access to that because I'm sure this also Elon Musk's own, if I like, revolution. Remember, he has actually tinkered with what's happening in the US. Elon Musk was not happy with Joe Biden when he came up with this other guy, this Dr. Fauci, who faked the issue of COVID. And he said that Dr. Fauci and Joe Biden must pay for it dearly. So you look at what has happened on Twitter. He revealed so many things on Twitter that have never been revealed before. So we must ask a generation that has gone into space. You know, nowadays space used to mean that you go to the moon.
Yeah, you go to the moon.
But now space is on Twitter.
Yeah. Or talking about leadership, the Gen Z's leadership. On Sunday, we saw Omtata being welcomed by the Gen Z's at the podium. And he has been trending on Twitter so much that the Gen Zs maybe are expecting, or maybe the Gen Zs are supporting him to be either to be. I don't know whether they want him to be a president, or which I know still we can say, okay, we cannot say that he's not qualified, but again we cannot say that he's qualified because we don't know. We don't know that. But what is Okia Omtata's equation, or what is Okia Omtata's addition on the Gen Z's plan?
According to me, we should not be discussing about leaders because then we leave away the people issue. I would like to talk about leadership, but not leaders, because leaders are about position. So anybody with a dream, a thought should just come about. And I think Gen Zs also are saying, let the leader emerge. The leader which has emerged will be a leader which can go forward. There are some people who have always got their hands carried up. Remember, Omtata came to Senate with his own political party. You see, there's some other people like Sifunas whose hands were carried in Nairobi to become senator. So they are very different. But nevertheless, also Sifuna has proven that he knows what he knows. He can say what he can say. But leaders have to emerge. The time when leaders were pushed on people is long gone. And I want to urge Gen Zs, never ever take establishments. And also something interesting here. There are a few leaders whom Gen Zs, kind politicians that Gen Zs have identified with. But there are some they have not really identified with. But there are some we are not going to reuse or we are not going to recycle. You know, the some politician will just look like a syringe. You know that syringe for medicine? For medicine, It's never reused, never recycled. Because it's so dangerous. Even if you say you want to sterilize, it's too dangerous. So we are not going to sterilize anybody, not going to reuse anybody, not going to recycle anybody. So some people have shown, for example, you see a leader saying that if he was the president, he could have slaughtered the Gen Zs. Look at that thing. Which age is that? If he took that statement in space, it could have disapproved in space before he came to the place. Space, You see, we must come to become the 21st century people. So I can tell you, leaders will emerge. The Gen Z evolution will make and break people. Like you see a statement that came in after the signing of IBC Act. There's something else trending apart from the act. Do you know what's trending?
No, I've not checked.
What is trending is, how did Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka come together to sign an IBC Act, then say they are going to lead the multi-sectoral discussion? That's what is trending. They're saying, excuse me, no. What are you leading? Which dialogue are you leading? So that's what is trending. They're saying that you have been used before. They have counted how Raila Odinga has been in so many dialogues since 1997. So that is trending faster than even the IBC Act, which means that space is going to make or kill the business models of politicians, the business models of companies, the business models of even media houses will have to be disrupted. Let's accept that revolution has taken place. I'm hearing some people saying there might be revolution. No, it has taken place in space. And it is now going to disrupt the place. It's just a matter of time when some people die and some resurrect. Remember, you look at the time when Nokia was a leading phone in this world.
In the world, yeah.
Yes, when iOS came, and the one which was being traded by Google came in, and they missed to jump into that ship, they died. So if you don't accept change, you die. Resisting change is like holding your breath. If you succeed, you die. If we hold our breath in this studio, you'll see coffins coming here for us.
Yeah.
So when change comes, accept it. Don't resist. So Gen Zs have brought a change. Some people don't want to accept it. But the more you don't accept, the more they take away oxygen from you. Like you see now, the president is losing oxygen every day. Any politician that's not accepting this change is losing oxygen. So even the Omtatas, maybe Omtata has known that. But you know, Omtata has taken so many petitions in court. Maybe that's why they resonate with him. But I have some small issue about Omtata. And I want one Gen Z to do their own research, because nowadays, in God we trust, the rest bring data. I'm an economist, so we don't throw rumors. Let Gen Zs find one single case Omtata has taken to court and won. Because if he's taking cases to court and not winning for the people,
then there's a problem.
Then it's a PR. Because remember, there are so many state projects that are in this world. You can see somebody working for you, even escorting you, but maybe he's an NIS. So we have to understand that if people are genuine, or actually they're just doing PR. Omtata is my neighbor. I come from Sega. He comes from Siaya. You see Siaya, Sega.
Yeah, just neighbors, yeah.
But I'm trying to say, let's look at genuineness. Nowadays, we are tribeless, we are neighborless, we are partyless. But the challenge is, let us try to separate. Because in this revolution, you can even have an unsuccessful revolution, because you can jump actually from the frying pan to fire. So that is a delicate thing. I can't even say that I own the knowledge to be able to direct people on this, because I'm also part of the picture. They say if you're part of the picture, you cannot see the full picture. So my analysis is that we should have a very clear measurables to know who is a leader and who is not a leader. We have to know those who are masquerading to be with us and those who are not, because even the 12, Judas was a betrayer among the 12. So let's know who is Judas and actually who is Simon Peter.
And he was very much close with Jesus.
Yes, actually, he said that even the one who is putting his hand just with me together is the one who's going to betray me. So we must know where are the Judas. Some Judas have come. And in Kenya, the most thriving business is politics. You see how they are flashing their watches, their cars. Which business do they run? Which is the name of a company run by Sudi? Which company does Ichungwa run? Which company does Didi Nyoro runs that he has bought Lonro House worth 1.8 billion? Are you getting my point?
I'm getting it.
When will you see 1.8 billion in your account? I'm sure you'll die.
I will die before. So that is Professor. You've heard him talking about the issue of, and I said this thing, and we were not with him, that as a leader, especially leaders that right now are in the offices, you have to be very careful, because the time is coming whereby the people that elected you will say that we cannot reuse the needle. So the needle once used cannot be recycled. So it is up to you to choose whether you want to be a needle that is going to be reused or to be recycled, or you are that kind of needle that will no longer be used. Because even like a razor blade can be shared, but with only the people that trust each other. So the question is, can you be trusted by the people that elected you or not? Until we meet again, I've been your host, Boniface. Bye bye.